What's going on, world? Your man, Mr. Mech.
And I'm Crystal Levin.
This is the M+M+M show, aka the show coming to you live and direct with a young lady who has already told me she is blessed, who has already told me she's highly favored, who's already showed me that she's lyrical, who's already showed me that she's got charisma. But what she hasn't done is shown me that she's lying. So if you could just state your name so people know I'm not lying, I'd be super happy.
Yes, thank you for the introduction. I go by Asian A, by the way, leader of the Mermaid Gang. If you don't know who I am, I got a song out right now called Period Poo. It's going crazy. I'm on Instagram at the Asian A, and I'm on everything else as Asian A. So if you don't know me, get familiar. Period.
I like that confidence. Pew 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 pew.
You gotta throw the poo in after every period.
Period. Right.
Poo. No, you gotta say poo. You got to say poo because that's the single.
Oh, period poo.
Yeah.
Like poo. Period poo.
Poo. I get it now. Now I'm part of the Mermaid Gang. Where's this mermaid thing come from?
So the mermaid. So I am a mermaid first. So when you see a mermaid, you know, she's nice to look at. She's hard to catch because, you know, the water, they're not really like, you know, just out there. And she just go through the waves her own way. And I just use that as just imagery as like humans. You know, we live our life according to our own rules. Long hair, beautiful, hard to really have. But
we're still listening.
Yeah, hard to really have, but you know, when you have them, you know, they're a gem. So I just really like try to push that out to my supporters, like to just live your life according to your own rules. Always be beautiful and confident in yourself, and you know, you're part of the game.
So what do you have to say for people with short hair? I'm kidding.
You still you care about people.
Right. No, I love the aesthetic. I've always been pro mermaid and definitely pro myself, so we're good. I definitely am part. Yo, he got long hair, don't care over here.
I'm just gonna hang out.
So he's a merman.
He's a merman. So listen, I'm the meme queen, they call me. Only because I like to bring them up in conversations and then I have to describe a meme. But there was one and it was showing Ariel, the Little Mermaid, when she got legs, and they're like, she changed everything about herself to be accepted. What are we telling our children, right? So a lot of like the older fairy tales and such were definitely had some questionable morality or moral story, you know, the storyline, like be saved by a man, change yourself to fit standards. So I kind of like, I mean, listen, stay a mermaid, stay hard to catch, stay, you know, exactly who you are. I mean, yes, her dream was to be on land, but it was, she lost everything in order to do it.
That's my only pushback.
And her voice in order to live this dream.
Her wanting to be on the land is the pushback.
That's my only pushback, because I also believe, as much as I don't disagree with anything Crystal just said, I also believe that two things. Number one, she made a choice.
Yeah.
Which I think everybody is allowed to make. And she decided that whatever was on land was worth it. Right.
Right.
And the second thing is, in life, you are definitely going to have to make decisions to go certain places, and everybody else can't come. There are certain places you're going to go. Can't bring everybody. It is what it is. Like when people say, yo, you changed. It's like, yeah, because I didn't want to stick around here under the sea with the rest of y'all. I wanted to go do some other stuff, and y'all really wasn't trying to keep up. So had to grow legs on you and start walking. See, I appreciate that part of the metaphor. But Chris, I hear exactly where you're coming from. Salute the Mermaid Gang. Like, I'm not mad at none of that. But at the same time, when I watch that movie, it's like she made a decision and she decided to get low on everybody else because it was someplace else she needed to be, and you can't bring everybody.
Yeah, but you know, that's real life too, though.
That's
the consequences. You sign on to things, and we always talk about his one of his favorite quotes is that people they're in on the heist, they just don't like their cut. Like you signed up, you knew the rules, and now you don't like it. Just didn't come out how you hoped, or there's little pieces in there that you forgot to read the fine print. You're like, crap, man. Like I signed up for this, you know, incredible man with incredible job, with incredible work ethic / he's not going to have endless time to hang out with you, boo boo. Like you signed on for that, so you have to know.
In between the lines. I said you didn't read in between the lines. You didn't read the fine print.
Right.
Well, Asia, I imagine that there's a lot that comes with someone who with dating you. Like you're definitely not typical run of the mill, average, everyday plain Jane. Like he's got to deal with
fine print with you. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Like, I mean, there's going to be male fans. There's going to be a lot of male attention. There's going to be a lot of long nights in the studio. There's going to be a lot of guys in the studio. Like, I can imagine dating you is not no day at the beach, mermaid gang.
Listen, I don't even date right now, and it's really just because of my schedule, and I don't really want to like act like I'm giving someone a time that I know I'm not able to give. So like I don't date for that reason, but I know when I do date, you know, I would have to date a confident man because my whole team is strictly men. Like I'm the owner of the label, my manager, the vice president, the person that just helps, like the people that sign, like everybody. I'm literally the only female most of the time. So it's just a trust thing. I feel like we'll have to like, you know, definitely be there.
Yeah. How are you with fans? Like your fans, do they try to hit on you? Do they try to take you out? You have the gay fan base? Like what's your, I mean, it's also Pride Month just as of today. Which I know the Pride group loves the mermaid imagery.
Yes, and I definitely want to get to some Pride events. I hope they book me for some Pride events because I know they need this music. But as far as my fans and my supporters, I connect with them a lot through live. I have a lot of male supporters. I have a lot of young women supporters too, but the men are like that, you know, of course. But I just like try to redirect them mostly and let them know, like, you know, I love y'all, but
well, the imagery also, besides the mermaid part, is really sexy. I mean, you work out, you have body, like
golf clap. One time, golf clap. We're gonna golf clap for the bodies. Okay. One time.
Oh, that's a very elegant golf clap.
That looks like a flipper flap.
It looks like a seashell, don't it?
Yes. Hey now, I just learned something new.
That's the flippers going. That's what I'm seeing. It's all flippers.
Yeah. So I mean, so there's a lot, and I have no problem with sex appeal as long as, for me, and this is me personally, as long as it somehow doesn't overshadow or confuse, and the message can be sexual too, as long as there's respect in there. You know what I mean? This goes to Amber Rose's Slut Walk, all this type. We're allowed to be as sexual as we want to be. Sing about pussy, sing about the cat, like, and right? As long as, and this is my caveat, is as long as there's self-respect and people don't think that means anybody can just jump in the pussy. Everybody has access to that ass. So
yeah, and and my biggest thing with it too is overshadowing the talent and the message. Like, because yes, I'm sexy, yes, like, you know, that takes over a lot of my brand, but just what the message is, like for the mermaids and like who I am, like that'd be my biggest thing. Like just making sure the message is clear and, like you said, making sure it's just, I thought I put my phone on do not disturb. I don't know. Making sure everything is just, you know, straight and narrow. You don't just think that it's a pretty face. Like that's my biggest thing.
Well, that's you're always gonna run into that problem because some people don't. And unfortunately, in this industry, there are too many people who aren't invested in talent to begin with. They're Correct. Not really concerned about if you can rap, how good you're rapping, how good you're performing. Like none of that is relevant. Too many people are just looking at the aesthetics.
Right.
She's hard at work right now. The studio door comes flying open. Somebody's in the building. Like,
they in there working.
Say it again. They in there working on what?
On the beat.
Where are you from? I'm hearing a heavy accent. Yeah, I beat you to it, Chris. I knew it was coming. Where are you from?
So I was born in Maryland. So my whole mom's side of the family is from Maryland and kind of like the North New York, all that. But then I was raised on the west side of Atlanta. I grew up in Clayton County, South Side, Riverdale. So like and my dad from Chicago. So.
Oh God.
You got a little mix up in there. That's cool.
She got all the blackest people possible in her family tree. Chicago, Maryland, New York, like it's Atlanta. That's like the black trifecta. DC is right there.
Though I really rep the South Side, so.
Of Chicago.
No, of Atlanta, Riverdale.
See, I missed it. There was one black. It was 50-50. I wasn't sure where it was gonna go.
Because there's no south side of New York. We have boroughs. Yeah.
Well, I'm from the south side of Queens, but we don't have that accent where I'm come from. Did she sound like honey and molasses on a biscuit, like just waiting to happen?
Everyone's stuff about my accent. I don't even like. I don't know. I guess it's because it's my normal voice, so I don't feel like I even got an accent.
But you actually enunciate. But you enunciate, so it's easy to understand you. You have a strong accent. But another meme I saw, this girl. It was probably a TikTok, and I don't think it was her audio. Point is, it says when your man got a strong accent, she goes, "So what we about to do? Tell me about yourself." And he goes, "Whatever he said. I got a lot to you got ostrich oil." No, I got a lot to offer. Like whatever he said, it was so confused. She goes, "Okay, let's start there." But you could not understand one word he said. Do you ever have trouble being understood?
Yeah, sometimes, but not really though. Just like sometimes, but not really though. Like I don't really find myself repeating myself. I think sometimes in music though, like with my songs, because I might say something a certain type of way, but like me just personally speaking, I kind of make sure I enunciate a little bit, just so if it sounds a little southern or if I sound a little northern at that point, you still understand what I'm saying. I always want to come off intelligent, so
do you have a corporate voice? Do you have a difference between like in the streets hanging out with your friends and a corporate voice? I mean, the white voice is a bad way to say it, but
I think we all do.
You code switch it up?
Huh?
You code switch?
Yeah, I switch it up a little bit. I would use more curse words for sure if I'm in the setting. My friends, I have a bit of a potty mouth, but if I'm like doing something corporate, then I'm straight like, "Hello, my name is Asia. Nice to meet you."
Wow.
Oh, she has it. She has it in there. I feel like everyone has it in there.
Oh no, my corporate is my Caucasian is next level. When I have to flip that switch, I already know what it is I look like when I'm walking into a corporate environment.
Exactly.
I'm probably the blackest looking guy they've ever seen.
Exactly.
So I definitely need to get my voice to a point where they're not running out the room, which is super unfortunate because we all should be able to speak the way we speak with points for being more or less articulate. I will say that it annoys me when people want to go into certain environments and talk hood. That annoys the shit out of me. Like that. Say it again.
I said that annoys me too. I agree.
That bothers me. Like, no, I understand. I'm just being myself. Yeah, but you nobody cares about that in here. They're just being themselves too. This is how they speak all the time. And when in Rome, you do as the Romans do. Like, I'm not asking you to not be yourself. I'm asking you to add on to who you are.
Right.
When I get around the way and I'm chopping it up, it's a different kind of talk with my niggas. Like when I'm chopping it up, that's different. But when I get in corporate, no, you need this too. Well, why won't you add this?
I just want to point out, we've heard some of way back when Orange Man was in and we heard these recordings of Grab the Pussy. Like, they talk different when they're with their friends too.
Facts.
I'm saying they say different things. They joke about different things.
Exactly.
The whitest, most corporate asshole or nice guy speaks their own way outside of a boardroom or outside of a business meeting. So I just want to throw that out there. But I also realize that because I'm white, because I'm Caucasian, I don't have to do that. And so I actually get points for having a little bit of hood in me in corporate things, which is crazy because it shouldn't work that way. It shouldn't be that way. They're like, oh, she's cool. She's like different. Like she gets to be this way. And then I forget how to be appropriate and not use my potty mouth.
As we've seen all through this interview.
When my manager told me like starting out 23 hours your light switch is on, and that last hour when you at home, that's when you yourself. So 23 hours of the day your light switch is on. If you outside, you're and I just act as such. And I think like mostly like as Black and being African American woman, you want to have that respect. So it's like for you to even go in any type of room and act anything different, it's kind of just like you playing your ancestors at that point. Like that's how I look at it.
So. Yeah. Did you see Monique's rant or not rant? Her commentary about the headscarves? What do you have to say about that? Your response is already.
I didn't, she said, hold on one second. I didn't see that. What was said? Please explain that.
She said, for all the people that call me aunties, I take your respect and blah, blah, blah. I have something to say. I was at the airport. I saw too many women wearing headscarves, bonnets, slippers, robe, blankets. And she said, just if you want to be treated with respect, show some respect for yourself, basically. I think she was like, I'm not saying that you don't respect yourself. I'm saying what it looks like. So she did clarify. She said, I don't want to say this out of a place of judgment. I want to say it out of a place of love. She said, we shouldn't have to prove ourselves. We should just get respect. But my babies, if I see you, I'm gonna tap you and say,
do you redirect the right way? Because what she's saying has substance to it. Because if you are, someone of business or just someone who's great, or, at the end of the day, if you on a different level to someone else, you're an influence. Like, you know what I'm saying? So if you walking around as any type of rapper, you walking around with a bonnet on the airport and there's somebody else, it's like, oh, they think it's acceptable. I went to Maryland actually 3 weeks ago. I seen a group of two girls in the airport with a cover on over their shoulders, some slippers, like house slippers, and a bonnet. And I was to myself thinking, like, this is an airport. You know what I'm saying? It's still a public place, and you should just, I agree with her. I just feel like she didn't say it the right way. But I definitely agree with her.
I think she tried, but she also, there's an age gap. And so it comes across like, I don't want to, I was going to say a word that it wouldn't come across right with me for me saying it. Trying to please white people, maybe. Mm-hmm. It's almost to that, almost like an older Black woman, like, I want to say afraid of judgment, but like trying to preempt judgment.
Yeah.
How about, see, now here's the thing. I hate it when that reasoning comes up, Chris, and I hear you. I hate it when that reasoning comes up. Like, you trying to please white people. You trying to make it okay. Like, how come we can't just be ourselves? Yo, whatever happened to just having some class?
Right.
That
dignity,
is
self-respect.
That is a tacky way to look in public, whether white people are looking at you or not. Why is this your representation to the world? Like, you coming out the house looking homeless. Why do you look like, my mother used to say,
don't talk about how you were
in
raised.
the airport. My mother used to say, right. My mother used to say, don't walk out this house looking like nobody loved you. That was her thing.
My grandma said that too. Yep.
And she got it from my grandmother. See, we right here. Don't walk out this house looking like nobody loves you. What's wrong with you? Like, why do you look like that? And you're in, like Asia keeps saying, you're in an airport. You're not around your way. You're not in your living room. You're not on the porch. There are people, especially in New York. This is an international space. People are coming through, looking at you from everywhere. You never know where that opportunity could be. And you walking around out here looking like you just woke up. Whatever happened to class? Why are we so afraid to look nice?
Right. Go ahead.
And the biggest thing to me is just like the things that you're wearing, a bonnet or like the house slippers or like the covers, that is home stuff. That's not
even. And you are perfectly okay to wear that at home.
Yeah, like that's a home. Like that is designed for home. You wear bonnets to sleep. You wear covers when you're cold to sleep. You wear house slippers to sleep. So it's like, in an airport setting, it's just not classy. It's kind of trashy.
When my parents split and I was pretty young, I was like 5, and my mom was a singer. And my father had to drop my sister and I off at a concert that she was doing. And he brought us like looking crazy, like not done, right? My mom flipped a switch. She took us to like Kmart and bought us little matching outfits and combed our hair and put them in barrettes. And my dad just couldn't understand. Like, we were pretty young. So like he hadn't really wrapped his mind around little girls fashion either.
Yeah.
But like, he was just kind of like, well, I mean, I brought him.
Right.
My mom was like, oh, hell no. I'm on stage and they're a representation of how I keep my home.
Exactly.
And as we grew up, I mean, I also like beauty and fashion myself, but I also remembered that because whatever I do, even here on this podcast, somebody somewhere is like, how did her mother raise her? What did her mother teach her?
Yep.
And I'm still out here representing my parents and how they raised me.
Wrong. Now it's like, how are you treating yourself? Like, how do you feel about yourself? Like, you know, do you love yourself? Like, are you conscious of like he said, you can meet anybody in the airport. You know what I'm saying? You can meet your next brand deal in the airport, and it's like you got on something to make them look like you can't represent my brand.
You like crazy.
You know who I met in an airport? Two people that changed my life a little, like definitely in music. One, I met special ed in the airport in like Indianapolis. And just randomly, he didn't know who I was, that I did music or anything. He just thought I had a cool hairstyle. And this is before this, but I had like whatever I was doing. And we ended up doing songs together, right? Next, I sat in a plane seat I got bumped to first class. Yay. I slept the whole time from Atlanta. It was a connecting flight through Atlanta. And when I woke up, the guy next to me just sort of struck up conversation a little bit. He said, "Oh, what do you do? Are you from here?" And blah, blah, blah. He said he was a producer. I was like, "Oh, what kind of music do you produce?" And he said, like Single Ladies, Umbrella, that type. And I was like that? I go, like that? I was like that or that? He was like, "No, that." And I go, "Well, I have no internet, so I'm gonna have to take your word for it right now. But I'm Googling you as soon as we get off this flight." And it was Tricky Stewart. And I was like, holy crap. And then he asked, happened to be going the same direction and had his driver drop me off, which was so sweet.
Wow.
And ended up being in a few writing sessions with them. So that changed my life because I carried myself, maybe not exactly how I looked, but how I carried myself in those situations changed my music career.
No, if you'd have looked crazy, he wouldn't have said anything to you. Like,
exactly.
There's no question.
You were presentable enough for him to even want to approach you. Like your energy and your presentation was like, ain't no random person gonna just talk to you for no reason. Just like
we can sit right next to each other in silence.
Exactly. You gonna strike a conversation because it's an interest or it's something that gravitates yourself to them. I'm not gravitating myself to nobody that's walking around the airport with a blanket on in the bonnet. I'm sorry.
Yeah. How did you meet your team? I wanna know like a little bit more about your career. Your life.
I had an airport story. Damn, man.
Oh, damn it! You can tell it.
I only had one.
Go ahead.
I interviewed Nicki Minaj back in the day when she was first coming out, when this album where she's wearing the Wonder Woman outfit on.
Oh yeah. Beat Me Up, Scotty.
Beat Me Up, thank you. Interviewed her for that. Like a year or two later, we end up in the exact same airport on the exact same flight. I come off dressed the exact same way that I am in the office, as opposed to trying to look too comfortable. I put on a sweatsuit, but I still, look presentable. She walked right up to me. "Hey, don't I know you? You're the same guy who interviewed me, blah, 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 blah." And she stuck around just long enough for my girlfriend at the time to come pick me up. And then I had a lot of explaining to do why I was talking to that big booty chick out, sitting in the airport. Like, who was that? What was this? Blah, 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 blah.
Baby, I look so presentable. The big booty chick just let it talk to me.
It cleared out after I said, "Yo, that was Nicki Minaj," but she still didn't care, because in her eyes, like,
yeah, well, Nicki Minaj was trying to steal my boyfriend.
Yeah, something like that. So,
well, that means she thinks that her boyfriend is stealable, or not stealable. No, worth stealing.
I am very much worth the attempt. I'm worth the attempt. If you're gonna try.
Attempt, but I ain't
not stealable.
I'm not exactly the Hope Diamond, but if you're gonna steal something and you have a mind to try, I'm probably where you can do worse. You can do worse. I'm just saying. Not stealing.
I also don't believe that you can steal anyone.
No, it's impossible to steal people.
Yeah, people gonna do what they want to do.
People. They're gonna go if she. My motto is, if she leaves me, she was never mine. Like, you can keep her. She was never with me, bro. I don't even know that broad. Whoever you got ain't the chick I knew. So
she was your queen. Now she's a broad. Anyway.
Oh no, my queen vanished somewhere in between point A and point B. Wherever my queen went, I don't know where that chick is. The chick you got, I've never seen any parts of. So this is a whole new chick. I don't know this chick. You can have that chick. I'm not interested in that chick. That chick's for you. That chick's not for me. You can have that chickadee. Chick-fil-A, chick going. Yeah, like here, chick, like.
Back to this chick. So tell me more. I want to know how you got into this. Like, how long have you been rapping? How long have you been?
Okay,
who started you? Like, I want the butterfly story. Yeah.
Okay, so I've been passionate about music extremely since I was a kid. I grew up in a house, mother listening to neo soul. My dad was more of a Lupe Fiasco, Outkast,
lyric lover.
Yeah,
definitely.
Sure. My dad's like a wordplay. Like that's my dad. He's from Chicago. That's him. So that's his thing. I fell in love with music through R&B. I used to fall asleep to R&B like since probably like when I was like 6 to probably like 18, like my whole childhood. And I always wanted to produce music, but I was kind of like scared, or not scared. I just never really did it. Really, like that's the biggest thing. I never really did it. I never really tried. And when I was a kid, I used to like do little shows at my grandparents' cookout, pass around the hat or whatever. And yeah, so fast forward, this is 2 years ago. My brother's sending me.
Was that singing or rapping when you were doing these?
I remember the last show we did was the Lose Control Missy Elliott.
Okay. Nice. Okay.
We put out little shows, make up dances, everything. So it was the whole thing. So I'm fast forwarding 2 years ago, I was going through a situation. I was kind of like in the ending of a breakup. And my ex-boyfriend actually did music too, but I really wasn't like, into the doing music, but going in the studio with him and like just like being really around the making of the music kind of made me just like, but so I was going through that breakup and my brother was sending me beats. He was making beats at the time. He like, just play with it. So I started voice recording myself and I'm just like, okay, this is lit. Like I like my voice. Like it actually sounds good. Let me go to the studio. Let me see how I sound behind the mic. So I keep going to the studio. At this point, I'm doing just freestyles, just anything, just trying, just, really just fucking with the music. And I don't know. It's kind of just like one day I woke up and I'm like, I'm real spiritual too. And I'm just like, this is what God called me to do. Like, I feel it in my heart. I feel it in anything I do. I feel it in it just like really, literally anything I do. Like, I know God called me to do this, to make music and to just like, have my voice to be a tool to help people. So, ever since then, it's just been lit. And the more and more I'm just growing with my voice and with my fans and my supporters and my team, it's just, I can't really put it into words. It's amazing.
She means it when the hand closes with the thumb straight up.
Because I want to say how I really feel. Because when you look at somebody and it's like I'm thinking, now I wanted to come like, let me tell you how I really feel.
Well, no, it's perfect. I think it's the most amazing thing. I feel like, well, I don't know how old you are. It seems like pretty young. You look baby face, but I can't tell. I at this point am just finally figuring out how to feel for the purpose. Does that make sense?
Right.
Like I've always wanted to do things and it's been like my goal because that sounds fun or I like doing that. But to actually be able to sense what you're supposed to do in this world, I don't think it always comes to everybody at the same point. There's some kids as children, they know exactly what they're supposed to do. There's like 5-year-old preachers, you know what I mean? Like there's people that feel it. And I think for a long time, I was literally just trying to force it or like, point at things. I like that. I want that. And it's taken me until now to really feel. So it's a beautiful freaking blessing.
I feel like as long as it comes to you and like everything that I've ever done that I'm not doing now, it's like I needed to do that to get to this point. Like I've always like knew God had something for me. And for a long time too, though, I'm still young, like, but for a time, like I've always searched. Like I've always searched within myself. I always searched within God since I was young. Like, because that was my biggest thing, like growing up with not much, trying to figure out how can I make a difference for my kids and my parents and my grandparents. I always searched. And then when it fell on my lap, I was like, God, you're amazing. I knew it.
Oh, God, do it. So what other jobs have you had before rapper? Mermaid.
So, fresh out, I went to college, graduated high school. I went to college. I was in college for like 2 years. While I was in college, I was working at Applebee's. I worked at a call center. I worked at McDonald's, and then I started working in the club. And then I dropped out of school.
All that while in school?
Yeah, I did that while in school. But then I dropped out of school because I got in a real bad car accident. I dropped out of school, and then I started working at the call center. And then I was working at the club at nighttime.
Wow.
And that's really when I started being around music a lot more, like hearing all the recent stuff, you know, like the clubs in Atlanta, you hearing the real culture, the real wave. So that's when I started being around the music. And then, you know, everything just literally fell in order. Started meeting people, like just fell in order.
Which club were you in?
I was at Allure.
Allure?
Allure and Magic City.
Allure and which one?
Magic City.
Oh, Magic City. Oh, were you dancing or were you bartending?
Mm-hmm. I was there.
She said I was in there.
No. We golf clapping that. We golf. Okay. That has earned the golf clap.
I went out.
I'm doing the wave. Yeah.
Say that one more time.
I said I went in and went out.
No, you know, my favorite was when people say like, "Oh, so what do you do for a living?" I'm like, I get money. I go,
right. I get money.
Okay, well, that's kind of the goal for all of us. I said, that's code for something you don't want to tell me, but okay. I mean, I can start guessing.
No. If I hear a response like that, that's me. I back away slowly with my hands up.
Like assassin, drug dealer, like what the fuck?
Yeah, like.
My business with that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I get money. Okay, cool. That's your life.
You ask me what I do for a living. Well, my real answer is whatever I want. I say that one all the time. What do you do? Whatever I want. But if somebody says like, "Oh, you look familiar," I go, "I do porn. Nice to meet you."
You do not.
He does say that. He's that wild one.
All the time. Like,
I want to say that. What's people's response?
Well, now most times they're either gonna like turn red in the face. If it's a woman, she's gonna like kind of look me up and down real quick and be like, "Really?" Maybe but no, I'm dead serious.
No, I'm saying that the woman probably look you up and down and be like, "You lying."
Nobody says that.
Like, you know, because no one doesn't just come off and be like, "I do porn." So I would just be like,
you have to see the face I make when I say it. Like,
so you think having a straight face, like I'm not playing.
It looks just like. Go ahead, ask me.
So what do you do for a living?
I do porn.
Familiar.
I do porn.
I do porn.
You've probably seen a couple.
But we also do know porn stars. Like me personally, we do know a lot of porn stars. And if that's the question, and they wanted shock and awe, if they're like, I used to do porn or whatever, but like they'll admit it. But especially, it's fun for them to be like,
my favorite response is are the people who go, "I knew it," and I'm like, I just kind of ride those ones out, like, "Oh yeah, I know, okay, yeah," and I'm like, okay, and then I just have to wait and see if it's like gay or straight porn. That's where it could go left. Like if it's a woman.
Like you was with that dude, and you're like, no, that was not me.
Wrong movie, sweetheart. Wrong movie.
Wrong flick.
Yeah, wrong movie. But thank you for telling me about you. Now I know what you're into. Like
you into that vibe.
Thank you, Kylie. Beck, don't judge.
I have a story.
Thank you for letting me know about you.
I have a quick story to tell about probably a mermaid fan, based on the video he sent me. So this guy who follows me on Instagram. He'll probably hear this. He messages me like on my stories, like "You're gorgeous" or "That was great" or you rock. I'm like, cool. So I ignore most things. I just don't want to get into like full blown conversations. Like I can smile and thank you in my head. But anyway, he said, "You inspired me to dance again" last week. And then he wrote this week, he goes, "I'm just trying to be like you," and sent 2 videos. This man is doing point ballet with sparkly nipple tassels and a sparkly stick-on tasseled stick cover. But he's got an amazing body. Like it's like neck down. And he's doing like really good ballet on point. And I'm like, what am I looking at? So I couldn't help it. Like I screenshotted it like to ask my friends, like, why did I get what? Who is this? And then I had to write back and I said respectfully, I was like, wow, what am I looking at? Like with emojis like this. And he's like, "I just came out last year and I'm sorry for sending that, but it's hard to find people that support a craft like this. And I just, it's whatever to get a response from a person like you." And it was like really sort of fan-ish, but it's also like, oh snap, this guy just came out and is like sort of living his dream. And if I inspired him to dance again and this is what he's doing with it, great.
That's what I'm gonna do. artist is inspire and empower. That's it.
Yeah. And at first I was like, I'm so glad that I wasn't dismissive or rude, like, why the would you send me that, or like, ew, or something like that, because my first response was like, the fuck? Like, I don't watch things like this. I don't watch gay male strippers on ballet. Like, it was whatever. And apparently he dances at a burlesque club now somewhere in Miami, so good for him.
Look how the world changes.
Castles and sparkles. And
well, thank God. Thank God some creatives are actually here to inspire as opposed to just running after money. The ones who run after money, like I barely even respect it now. Because they're so many artists who I find who are strictly after money are like the worst ones. Like they're terrible. The ones who don't care what come out them. Like, okay, your dad.
Right.
You rattled off like murderer's row of lyricists when you named who your father's into. You Lupe Fiasco was one of them. You said Outkast was another one. That's a lyric lovers deluxe. I imagine he's probably into Common, like like the dudes who spit bars. That's for me where the inspiration comes from. And those dudes never hunted down money, but they strive to be like the best. They wanted to be like top notch, top of the food chain level lyricism. And because of that, they have outstanding careers and all the money. You never hear them cry broke. But there's so many women and men. This is on both sides of the women and men. There's so many people, so many of these quote unquote artists who suck ass. They just want the bread, and they'll tell you to your face, I don't care about this rap ish. I'm just here for the money. They want to be famous and
rich, not make art.
Not talented, not inspiring.
Well, and they don't even care about the art itself because everything is so recyclable. They just want to be rich and famous.
Right.
They want attention and money, but have no interest in the art they leave behind.
What's my saying, Chris?
Give up.
That is one of my sayings.
But that is.
Say that again.
If you're doing it for the money, then I don't know what to say.
I do. Give up.
Love it.
Yeah.
No, give up. Beat it. Scram. Shoo. Later. Vaya con Dios. Adios, muchacho. Get the fuck out of here. The part on my first curse. Oh.
Got him.
Yeah, definitely. I don't like artists who are strictly here for money because they tend to suck. If you're here for money, but you're really, really good, I'll give you a pass. But if you're only here for money, those guys tend to like embarrass the art form and the genre.
But for me, money's extra. The money gonna come. Long as you love and you work hard, the money. One thing about me is like, you know, I grew up with nothing for real. Like, you know what I'm saying? So, the money come. Like, long as you working and you living the right way, you doing what you're supposed to do, the money is gonna come. When you stress the money, that's when you're gonna be broke.
When I need it the most, and it's the idea of living out of scarcity versus abundance, which is like the current speaks. You know, I call it Earth, Moon, and Stars frou-frou stuff, but it's real. I mean, like The Secret and that type of idea is manifesting. When you living out of scarcity and you're scared for your next meal and you don't think there's enough in the world for you, things don't come. Like, your millionaire friends don't got $1 for you. But when you give your good energy, when you're helpful, when you actually give even from almost nothing, you give energy when you don't have money, it just pours back into you like magically. It's not magic, it's energy.
That's perfectly said.
Yeah.
You just had a lyricist tell you that something was perfectly said, Chris.
I think
that deserves a golf clap.
I'm just doing this golf clap now because I like it.
Yeah.
What I was gonna say, real quick, you were talking about the club, and then we got into what people do for a living and when they don't want to tell you their jobs. I was at a birthday celebration last night for a legendary friend in New York. He's like sort of in the hood, well known, but you know, he's turned 62, which is crazy. But and looks 45, so that's great. He there was a producer friend of ours that came with us who never goes out. I wouldn't say never, rarely goes out, but he produced one of DMX's new tracks. Like, he's well known with Wyclef, with Jerry Wonder, like this. He's like in that.
I know exactly who you're talking about. Go ahead.
Arden. It was his birthday yesterday. Also.
Yeah.
Arden Keys. Yeah, Keys. And he was just laughing. He goes, you know, we put all this energy into music, and sometimes we forget what the public does with it, like how it makes them respond. And we were having a deep conversation in the loudest club, because clubs are back. Whoa, I was very overwhelmed last night, drinks and elbows. But he said, you don't know which one is going to be a hit, because there is formulas. There are things that, you know, there's waves that people can copy or follow, patterns, what's in, you know, trap is in, or, you know, it's different sounds.
Right.
But it is magical what the public, the general public, the world, when they catch on to a vibe, what that's like.
Right.
Like we were listening to that one song, said marry the game, and I said, yeah, I do.
Meek Mill.
The whole long intro, right? My mind went blank on the rest of it. But I've never heard a talking intro that long that no one ever gets tired of and gets people more and more and more hyped as the years go on. Like, that's magical.
It's timeless.
Who made that up? Like, who thought that up and knew that would work?
You gotta put stuff out. You gotta put stuff out and believe in it. Like, that's the biggest thing. People don't believe in it. They'll think that you can just keep dropping, which is cool. Like, if you more known, but it's like you gotta let stuff simmer, let people hear, let people feel, let people live with the music before you just put on music, because nobody know you. At a certain point, nobody know you. So it's like, why the hell would they listen to you? So you gotta let shit just really wonder with people and let people know what it is. Because some people still gotta figure it out. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Well, I find that happens more with folks who don't have anything to say, though.
True.
Like, if you don't have anything to say, then you can keep dropping. If you got something to say,
it takes time to make that type of product of music. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
It takes time.
How do you write things down? Do you freestyle? What's your style like for coming up with your stuff? Do you write poetry, rap, whatever, and then bring it to the beat? Or do you write on the beat?
Right on the beat.
Okay.
And she's a writer, thank God.
I already be knowing the vibes I'm gonna be in, like, from the beat. The beat get a vibe of what I'm gonna write about.
I always felt that way when I was writing. Like, I would get a title, like a main line from listening to it, and then I would create something.
Exactly. And you create, it's just like you writing a 5-paragraph essay. You gotta have a subject, you gotta have,
beginning, middle, and end.
And then you gotta have an end, and you gotta have a middle part. And the middle part is the verses, which you gotta really like talk to them. And the subject, I keep saying the subject and predicate. I keep trying to say it's the same thing though. The subject and the predicate, the beginning and the end gotta be
the alpha and the omega. Yeah.
Gotta resonate.
Right. And the meat, it's like the meat of the sandwich.
Exactly. See, there's so many things you can use.
Yeah. The double stuffed Oreo.
Gross. Absolutely gross. You lost me with that double stuff. Well, that's gross. Those are for the devil. Those are terrible.
My roommate loves them. That's her one vice. Not one vice.
That is an absolutely terrible cookie. The double stuffed Oreo. That is awful. And I don't know how we got here, but that's gross. Thankfully, we have a lyricist here who's actually thinking about the things that she wants to say, as opposed to just going in the studio and catching a vibe. I can't stand that now. I hate that.
What do you want? You said that you want to help people, inspire people, that type of stuff. And I've heard some of your music, and it's definitely inspires fun. It definitely inspires dancing. What do you want to inspire in people? What do you want to leave behind as a legacy? Your overall musical theme, or
just always be yourself. Like, you know what I'm saying? Just always live your dream. Don't ever look to the naysayers. Don't care about the no's. When you get the one yes, that's exactly where you're supposed to be at. Be a mermaid, be easy to see, hard to find. Just live your life.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm pushing back on that. Don't be yourself. Some of y'all are terrible. You don't need to be yourself. Some of y'all are really awful. Don't be yourself. Be somebody else.
Well, 7 billion trillion? Billion. 7 billion people in the world, because it can't be so many great people that have like a mind some people have to be in the middle so we can kind of like direct them to the top. So, that's what we all supposed to help as a family tree.
Yeah, but I tell them that exact same thing, which means you're not supposed to be at the top. Get out of this room. Like, you're in the wrong room. You got to go find your room.
I agree with that.
There's people that think that they're great as is. We just said the whole thing of like, let me be me or let me be myself. But what I always say, my least favorite grates my nerves is when people say, when you're discussing a fault or a problem or something, they're like, that's just who I am.
Right.
No, that is true, but that is not okay.
But okay.
Like, I'm always late. That's just who I am. Well, work on that. If you're accepting, like, the first part of fixing a problem is acknowledging it, right? So acknowledge that you tend to sleep in past important things, but don't make that an excuse. That's not okay.
It's like, not just who you are, it's who you've decided to stay.
It's like, this is my natural tendency, and I have some bad natural tendencies. I could be a gossip. Like, I don't even realize when I open my mouth because it's to people I trust. And then I'm like, whoa, this person doesn't get to know this person's business that they told me. And it took me in my 20s to really realize what I was doing, because I didn't mean it bad. It was just oversharing. But I realized it and worked on it.
You made it a point that wasn't who you were going to stay, as opposed to saying, that's just who I am. I've been doing that my entire life. You can't just, if you're leaning on that's just who I am, in my opinion, that's the sign of a weak person. You just told me that you're not strong enough to be any better than who you are right now. And I don't have any time or space for that. And thankfully, we have used all of our time and space to interview this lovely young lady. And now we are out of all of the above. Asia, could you please one more time? I know you did it in the beginning, but I was going to do it at the end, but you did it at the beginning. So now do it at the end again, the subject and the predicate. Now do it at the predicate. Could you please tell people who you are, where to find you?
Middle supporting sentences, and now we're at the predicate. I go by Asian A, by the way, leader of the Mermaid Gang. I'm on Instagram at the Asian A. I'm on all streaming platforms at Asian A. My new song, Period Poop, out right now. Jump out right now, featuring Erica Banks. And Chosen One on the way, period. Stay updated, stay connected. It's lit.
Thank you so much for joining us. You're awesome. I'm a fan now.
Yeah, I'm not mermaid clapping. That's what I refuse to do. Okay. I just absolutely not.
There you go.
I'll give you a soul fist. How about that? In the meantime, in between time, I'm your man, Mr. Mac.
And I'm Crystal Leven.
This has been the M+M+M show, aka the show. May you live as long as you want and never want as long as you live. Do us all a favor. Go get laid. Peace.
Peace.